Hey guys, this is Brad from Max Ready Productions. I have Austin here, and he is giving us his deck list that he topped with at the Indianapolis League Cup today. And it is fantastic. I saw some text in there that I really liked, so I'm like, I want it to be good. Did you just make it good? And I think he did. So, there you go.
And something to know, my buddy actually topped with the same list in the same tournament. So we're actually going to be playing a top cut here soon. So let's get on with it. So this is basically toward Reckliv's list. There's just a couple changes that I made because I felt that they needed to be made. His list was mostly meta-based and just like some medicals. So, you know, obviously we have our standard 4-4 Zoroark line. You know, pretty easy. Make sure that you have all of your consistency. You know, just make sure that you're hitting your Zoroarks because that's going to be your draw engine and the way that you're going to actually get through your deck to get your stuff. Oh, and that is actually at the end here. I play the one baby still, just like Tord did. It's actually over here. So I play the baby just because the Mind Jack is really good when your opponent gets a little overzealous and they just like bench everything. Then you just attach Choice Band, kill whatever you want.
Not to mention against the, because I played him, which is how I noticed his list was good. Against the kind of Hoopa matchup or Safeguard in general, it kind of really does really well. Especially if they go Bridget first and you go, well, guess what just happened?
Absolutely.
Good sir.
And so you can change first impressions with this as well. Something about Tord's list is that he didn't play Flowstone. I do. I'll get to that in a second. And you just change the first impressions over and over and over. So that's really cool. And then you play the standard 3-2 Golisopod line. Golisopod is really good. One grass energy attacker. It's really good against Gardevoir. So if they get a little overzealous and they just attach a bunch of energies, then the one grass energy instead of the one double colorless just means that they have one more energy that they have to get on their Pokemon just to be able to attack and kill you. And just making sure that you can take it down as much energy as you can while taking down the Gardevoir is key. And then we play 3 Tapu Lele just because they're good. And then we play 1 Coco and 1 Mewtwo. So one thing that I did change out of here, Tord actually played Mr. Mime, and you know, that's really good for the meta that he was playing in, but in my local meta there's not really anything that I'm really worried about. Like sometimes there's Ninetales, but it's not really a big problem. So I just cut that for other stuff. Just making sure that I have all the stuff that I need for my meta local. So that is the Pokemon.
So how do you deal with Mr. Mime, besides Guzma?
So that is basically the only way that I deal with it is the Guzma. The Tapu Koko is only really necessary for the free retreat, and sometimes when you get the flying flip off on a bunch of Leles, then you get that 20, and then all you need is a Choice Band so that you can first impression for 150. It's just all about the math. You can also ride as beating for 150. So just getting the extra 20 with one flying flip, that's all you really need to set up, and then you should be good to go from there. So onto the trainers. We do have 4 Guzma, and then 4 N, 3 Acerola, 2 Bridget, and then we have 2 Sycamore, and 1 Mallow. So the 4 Guzma, because obviously being able to pick off anything that is on your opponent's bench is really good. And then the 4N, disrupt your opponent or help you set up. And then make sure that you're not throwing away your puzzles of time. If you know anything about Tord's list, he played puzzles. You don't want to throw those away with the Sycamore. So that's actually why we only play 2 Sycamore, is because you just don't want to throw things away often. And you're going to be drawing like 4, 6, 8 cards a turn. So Sycamore is only really needed if you get into a low hand size. So the 2 Bridget, he played 3. I think the 2 is just fine. You're not ever really going to prize both of your Bridgets. And the 1 Mallow is really good just to fish out any 2 cards that you want so you can trade into it. You know, getting any 2 cards that you want from your deck, like the double colorless, the Choice Bands, because you only play 2, which we'll get to in a second, or the double puzzle if you wanted to. So I think it's a really solid supporter count. Okay. And then we are going to move on to the items. So we play 4 Puzzles of Time, we play 4 Ultra Ball, and then we play 4 Field Blower. Now, the 4 Puzzle of Time, the second option only works in conjunction with the other one, so you need 4 just to make sure that you maximize your odds of getting the double puzzle. And sometimes the cool thing that you can do with these is if you accidentally discard one, you know, early in the game, then you can double puzzle for that one, so you have this other one to correspond with that later on in the game. So the 4 Ultra Ball, just make sure that you have your consistency. The thing with the 4 Field Blower that I know from Tord is that Parallel City from a Gardevoir player really hurts you because you're trying to ride his beating for like 120, or I'm sorry, 100, because you have resistance on them. So having that option just always is really good. And also just making sure that you are discarding your opponent's Brooklyn Hills, their Floatstones, their Choice Bands, just to mitigate their options is really good. And so we actually play 2 Enhanced Hammer, 2 Choice Bands. I put in the 1 Floatstone, and then I play 1 Counter Catcher. So the 2 Enhanced Hammer is just really good with the Zoroark to trade. You can just basically dig for it whenever you want, or if you've already used them, you can puzzle for them again, just to make sure that your opponent has limited options when you're actually attacking. The 2 Choice Band, I actually used to play 4 when I played Golisopod Zoroark. And that's just because I felt like I had to hit numbers. But when you're drawing like 4, 6, 8 cards a turn, you don't really need 4. The 2 is just fine. The 1 Floatstone, I just thought that I needed just for my own little safety. Just making sure that I can get out of a sticky situation with the Floatstone, just make sure I can free retreat, get the first impression, or get my other main attacker up. And the Counter Catcher is actually an idea that I had this morning. Me and my friend, we just found it in some bulk, and we were just like, huh, maybe this could be cute. Mostly, I think it's cute, and I think it's good because you can fish it out with the puzzles. If you discard it early, then you could just get it back with the puzzles whenever you want, and it's not a big deal. It's just 1 spot, and if anything else, it's trade bait. You can just trade it away, and then you just don't have to worry about it again. So then our energy count, we play a very thin 3 DCE and 4 DCE and 3 grass energy. So the 4 DCE you need for Riotous Beating and Energy Drive, and to use Armor Press and Crossing Cut GX. And the grass energy is just for Golisopod to attack. Now you don't play rainbows or anything like that just because that does bog down your consistency, and you just want to make sure that you do the same thing every game. So the 3 grass and the 4 DC really ensures that you're going to do what you want to do every single game the same way. Alright, and that is basically the list. If you guys have any questions, just comment below and we'll get to it. Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for watching, guys. May your lives be as max ready as my decks. Have a great day, share, like, and subscribe.